start, I'm going to ask all of you to take a look at the speech section on your agenda. And I'm going to bet that all of you spelled so, S-O-W.
So.
Getting a lot of nods here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about agriculture today. We're talking about filler words. So, like, and These little parts of speech that find their way into our presentations and diminish the quality. Death of a little thousand cuts. No one wants to be defined by their filler words when they speak. When you get up here in front of an audience, you want to present yourself as calm, collected, comfortable. You want to have fluid speech. But when you're not ready for your speech, you end up with these ums and these ahs, and they get in the way of being successful. So what's going on inside our head when these ums and ahs happen? The answers to that come from a field called cognitive linguistics, which is the science of what is going on in our brain when we're attempting to do something with language, whether we're talking out loud, whether we're thinking to ourselves, or we're planning what we're going to say. The ums, ahs, and ers belong to a category of behaviors that are officially called speech disfluency, but in colloquial jargon, we tend to call it a brain fart. Something has happened in between the neurons in the synapses when we have an or an ah. The connection hasn't been made. The doorbell rang, but nobody was home to answer it. Or, if you're a more technical person, that node is no longer connected to the server. Something happened, and it wasn't good. And the first thing that you did was come out with an or an ah. So it's a way to take a moment, try and refresh the page, get the old data out of the cache, and move onward. So it's a functional behavior in that way. But there's another component to it that we often overlook. And that is that ah, like, and so are actually communicating information to the person that we're speaking with. It says, hold on, thinking of something, trying to reorganize my thoughts, so on. When you look at how people structure their sentences, where they put those ums, ahs, and ers, it's actually systematic. And the behavior is universal across languages. Whether I'm talking to you in English, Alper has something to say in Turkish, or any other language, all human beings use ah, and in the same way. It's not just a filler word. It actually has semantic value, and it's part of our sentence. Now, even though it is communicating something, when you get up here to deliver a speech, if you're trying to negotiate a deal, make a sale, what you're communicating with that so is, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm not prepared for this moment. And to be honest, none of us really want to be sending that message, do we? So what do we do to fix the problem when filler words attack? There are a couple of options here. My favorite one for Toastmasters is to tell people, don't memorize your speech like you're learning lines for the school play. What happens when you get to a line you don't know? You stop. You might say or ah. If it's really bad, you might run screaming and crying to stage left to avoid the situation entirely. You don't want that either. So don't memorize your lines. Instead, learn the structure of your speech. Have an idea of where you want to start in your introduction. Have an idea of where you want to finish. and pick a couple of pit stops along the way, things you want to focus on. Instead of learning word by word, get an idea of your general structure. And that way, if you hit a crack in your thoughts, in your formation, you don't have to or You have an idea of what comes next. You can be flexible, and you can respond to it. By being prepared with the entire idea of your speech, you can avoid hitting roadblocks where you say, I don't know what to do next. I'm not sure where I want to go from here. You don't want to do that at all. So that's technique number 1. Technique number 2 is, of course, practicing your speech. This gives you a sense of what parts of your structure go together and flow naturally, and that's going to help you prevent cracks forming in the foundation of your speech. Instead of having to seal up a crack with that or build a really nice foundation that doesn't need one. I'm sure our engineering professor in the back can say that's a sound strategy.
Good strategy, yeah.
Good strategy, okay. When you get up in front of an audience and you're prepared to speak, you're conversant with your topic, you're familiar with your plan, you will leave an impression of being calm, comfortable, and most importantly, competent. And that's what you want to do. Madam Tussauds.